According to the Sustainable Hospitality Alliance, 32% of all plastic packaging ends up in our oceans each year. About 500,000 straws are used each day globally, and about 500 billion disposable cups are consumed every single year. One other product that is being wasted is hotel soap.
That's right. Hotel guests leave behind millions of half-used bars of soap every day, but one nonprofit is now on a mission to repurpose them. We want to welcome in the founder of Clean the World, Shawn Seipler, joining us. And I got to tell you, when I'm at home and I have that bar of soap, I like to stick it onto my new bar of soap and like mash. Do you do this with bar soap?
No, but I'm learning something new.
Yeah, you can mash it in and you can make it into one big piece of soap.
That's right. I think I grew up doing that as well. That may have been part of the inspiration for Clean the World.
Okay, so let's talk about that. We first met you in 2022. Can you give us an update on how things are going with Clean the World and all your soap smashing, if you will?
Yeah, well, it's going quite wonderful. We have more and more hotels joining our program globally, almost at 9,000 hotels across the globe. They're recycling their used soap and so much plastic with Clean the World. That's happening across the U.S., across Europe, and across many countries in Asia. So since I've last met, we have more participation. We're diverting more plastic, more waste, and we're getting more soap into the hands of those who need it locally and globally.
So I wonder, what was the aha moment for you? What was the moment that maybe you were looking at a bar of soap and saying, okay, I'm not going to use all of this, or people don't always use all of this. I have to do something about it.
I was in a hotel room in Minneapolis. I was working as a global sales director for a technology company. And as I traveled from city to city to city, I did not take that soap and shampoo with me. So I called the front desk one night and asked what happened to the soap when I was done with it. They said, we threw it all away. I thought that was interesting. I did some research, figured out that if all hotels were throwing their soap away, we were throwing away millions of bars of soap every single day. That really stuck with me. I tried to figure out, could I recycle soap, found easy ways to do it. But the big aha moment was when I realized and found study after study after study that showed that there were 9,000 children under the age of 5 dying every single day to pneumonia and diarrheal disease, 2 diseases preventable with soap and proper education on when and how to use soap properly. And so that was the aha moment for Clean the World 15 years ago.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about that. You take all this soap from the hotels, you obviously sanitize it. We'll get to that in a minute. But what then happens to this repurposed soap? Where does it go?
Yeah, so we have sent 85 million bars of soap to children, families, mothers across the U.S. and to 127 countries across the globe. So we are either providing our global NGO partners like Children's International, World Vision, the American Red Cross, International Red Cross to do their soap distribution. And then we also have programming in Uganda, in the Dominican Republic, in the Philippines, where we are coming in with soap distributions, education. We have our wash in schools, so it happens primarily in schools, and wash in clinics, where we do it, of course, in clinics. We also create hand washing stations. We do a lot along the lines of feminine hygiene as well. So we get into feminine pads and other products. So really concentrating on that water, sanitation, and hygiene area, really within the spectrum of wash.
Let's talk about what Steph touched on earlier, is the fact that the repurposing process, because a lot of people think, okay, I don't want to use somebody else's soap, but you actually have a great process where you sanitize them, you make new bars. What is that like?
That's right. So we have recycling manufacturing plants in Orlando, Las Vegas, Punta Cana, Amsterdam, and Hong Kong. And so we take the soap and we run it through a first stage plotter, which has a very fine screen filter on it. And that screen is taking off particles like hair and plastic and dirt and sort of doing a surface cleaning. And then we put it into a mixer. We mix it with some sterilization solution, really very, very diluted bleach. It cleans it. It's not really necessary because soap sort of cleans itself as it goes through the heating and cooling and heating processes on the manufacturing plant. But nonetheless, we add it, and then we put it into another plotter, an extruder, same type of equipment you find in a soap manufacturing plant. And we bring out a brand new bar of soap. We cut it into 1 3/4 ounce bars. We put our logo on it. We package it without plastic. So we do not want to have an environmental issue when that soap shows up somewhere for those after a hurricane or a natural disaster or after an earthquake or, those in Uganda or Dominican Republic. So we can do what's called naked packaging. And that soap is being distributed to those in need at a time when they desperately need hygiene.
All right, Shawn, this is just absolutely fascinating. And I know that you're creative and you're energetic and there's so much more to come. What is next for you, something else, or within this organization?
Well, we're tackling the plastic in the hospitality industry. So we're seeing a great move in the hospitality industry from the small single use to the large format closed loop systems. Very important that those systems are closed loop, open loop systems. There's a lot of concern with disease being passed and it not being sanitary enough. These closed loop systems, larger plastic, we're recycling it, circular plastic, we're certifying it, we're ensuring that it's auditable, that it's chain of custody, so we can validate all the claims around what we're doing. But the main part is to take that plastic, recycle it, put it into a new product so we can use less and less plastic and have less and less of it in our oceans and in our landfills.
Well, Shawn, thank you so much for coming
on. Passion in your voice.
I know,
it's like infectious.
It is. Thank you for coming on and all that you do. And we can't wait to see what you do. I mean, not only next year, but in 10 and 20 years from now.
Can't wait to talk to you again.
Thanks, Molly. Thanks, Stephanie. Thank you so much. All right, bye-bye.
And I've got to tell you, I don't know if you've noticed when you go to hotels, I've noticed more of the big bottles like on the wall opposed to the little bottles.
I'm still blown away by the soap mashing idea. I don't know why I've never thought of that.
How have you never thought of
snow? I don't know. I chased a little teeny tiny bar of soap around the shower.
Well, now you can mash into the big bar.
And I'm going to think of you, Steph.
Every time.
Every time.
Excellent.